I really cut my teeth in the retail business in stereo equipment. My first sort of real job was working in a hi-fi shop in Richmond, Virginia, and I learned that business pretty well there, and then decided to open one on my own in Richmond. Interestingly enough, I think there's a lot of parallel between the hi-fi business and the guitar business, because we're talking about producing sound of a certain quality, and the selling techniques are very, very similar. There's another option too, which is to not go with silk and steel and go with a slightly.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
You could go with like 11 gauge strings, probably, which
Do you know
might
what
do
we're
it.
on? Do you know what we're on originally?
And then I had the opportunity to move to the Cayman Islands and open a hi-fi shop there, which I did. But it didn't work out terribly well from a business standpoint. And interestingly, on the very day that I decided to close that shop, the government advertised in the local newspaper for a news director for their radio station, and they hired me. So then I worked for the next number of years in journalism. In that time, I had the opportunity to meet and interview Prince Philip, but I also had the opportunity to meet, interview, and actually broadcast a football match with Pele sitting right next to me and joining in on the broadcast. Arguably one of the most famous people in the world, and yet a real nice guy. I came to Leeds about 10 years ago after 20 years living in the Cayman Islands, so I found myself at Northern Guitars just down Call Lane here, and I was talking to the owner, Dusty Miller, and told him that I was a capable guitar repair person, and did he know of any opportunities in Leeds that I might pursue. You see, I had got my first guitar when I was 12 years old, and in addition to learning how to play it, I also took it apart and put it back together and rewired it and made all kinds of modifications, and just sort of learned my way around how to work on guitars. I finally made them an offer to buy their acoustic portion of their business, leaving them to sell electric guitars while I would sell acoustics separately. And that's how Northern Acoustics was born. We sell very, very good guitars in here, mainly Martin guitars, which are made in America, considered by most of the top pro players to be the best guitars you can get, and that pretty much attracts them to our shop. Selling high quality acoustic guitars brings a wide variety of players into the shop. Some are as good as there are in the world. You get some really, really good players that walk in and just absolutely amaze you with how well they play. And others are in their learning phases, and they're sort of getting there. And it's really quite fun to see the different levels and the different personalities that go along with those levels. But it's also fun to see a kid. I've had the business now for almost 10 years, and I've seen kids that were 13 or 14 or 15 years old come in and they could put a couple of chords together, and now 10 years later they come in the shop and they're much, much, much better players, and that's fun. And it's gratifying when you put the right instrument in somebody's hand and they really, really fall in love with it immediately and have to have it, so they buy it, and that's great. I'm starting to get up there in age a little bit, and I don't know that I want to continue working right through my 60s. So if there was someone who's interested in buying it over the next couple of years, I would certainly consider it. I'd love to see it taken over by someone would carry forward the sort of notions of customer service and the commitment to very, very high quality that I've built here. I've pretty much made it a priority to enjoy whatever it is that I do, so that's pretty much my philosophy.